Would you, could you?
Would you, could you believe it now? A podcast about strange journeys, hidden truths, and wild beliefs. With Sammy
And Rob.
Okay, so we're on the way to Contact in the Desert. Driving through the California desert right now. And we're listening to The Eighth Tower by John Keel on the way there. And something popped in my head. I don't know what he was talking about. We're listening to the audiobook, so I don't know exactly what it was, but it made me think of Egregores and how the idea that, perhaps we've, through the myth and lore, I guess, if you want to call it that, of UFOs and aliens, we've now created them, like we've egregored them to a certain extent. That the idea that if there's enough like critical mass of humanity that believes in something, it can basically allow it to be rendered as a form in some kind, and that maybe that's how we all get here. It's like, what if that's what we all do, like when we're spirits. As a spirit, we're basically like whispering into the ears of our parents, like telling them to make us a body, and which is kind of like convincing them of the egregore of us, like, oh, have a baby, and then maybe like we're our spirits whispering into their ears, giving them the thought, and then if it becomes concrete enough, then like it can actually happen. But that when it comes to making something that would probably be the easiest way for a spirit to come in. But that in terms of something that maybe isn't human, how would that get in? Because it wouldn't be able to come through a human like that. Well, then you would need enough of the population to egregore it, right? To believe in it enough that it starts to kind of render. But if there's not enough critical mass, it can't be 3D. So it might be in other dimensions. Like we believe it enough that it can start to exist in other dimensions. Maybe that's why they can be like ethereal. We see them in our dreams or in meditations, prayers, whatever. But we don't quite see them 3D. And that if it reaches a critical mass where enough of the population believes in it, then they could actually start rendering 3D.
Is this where I respond?
Yeah. What do you think?
It's just a lot. I mean, it seems like it's a theory, right? Not proven.
Yes, this is absolutely proven. Of course, it's a theory. The concept of egregore has been around for a while, but I was just kind of...
Why can't something just exist, though? Like, why does it have to be that, like, you're the one that's putting it into existence?
It's not me specifically, it's humans, but that for humans to get here, another human has to put it into existence. How did you get here?
My mommy and daddy.
There you go. So, I don't know. Why did you come in that way?
I don't.
Okay.
That's a good point.
I know. But I was thinking about it when it comes to egregores, like, this is kind of thought about when it comes to, so I'm on, like, Witch Talk, right? And all the witches, they try to say, oh, everyone's trying to curse, like, Trump or Biden, whoever, like, whatever politician they hate. And they're like, oh, the witches are trying to curse him, it's not working. Okay, but what they say is, oh, well, that's because there's an egregore exists, which means there's a thought form of these politicians or of these dictators, however you want to refer to them, that exists beyond just the person. And so if you wanted to stop them, you wouldn't be able to like hex the actual individual, but you would essentially have to affect the minds of the people that are creating the egregore. So if an egregore is formed from enough of humanity believing in something and focusing on something, then there's a certain perception that exists. And based on this, I think that the people that would be creating like a certain egregore are probably the ones that are actually afraid of it, because fear is really potent. Mm-hmm. So the people that hate and fear will end up having the strongest reaction, which, by the way, we got Joshua trees out the window.
So many right now.
Really, really pretty. Okay. So those that would have a lot of fear would probably have the easiest time. Like, I think, like, we are more likely to create the stuff that we fear, right? because it's a really, really strong feeling, so we can put a lot of energy behind it. So if you wanted to actually stop a certain politician, you would want to instead get into the minds of the people that fear them. Whoever fears them is probably creating the most energy behind it, based on egregore theory, if I'm understanding it correctly.
I guess this could relate to a lot of different things. I mean, Red Sox Yankees rivalry, right? Or like,
Yeah, I mean, think about, or even
Coliseum.
celebrities. Like, say this is a thing and celebrities know it. They would want to be very careful about how the masses perceive them. Because what ends up getting in the heads of the masses will create an egregore of that celebrity, and that could have a really big impact on them. I would think that it could impact you. So if everyone, and in that way, you could also use that to your advantage. So if I wanted everyone to think I'm a millionaire, I just start like putting it out there. Oh yeah, I'm a millionaire. It doesn't necessarily have to be true at first, but if enough people start to believe it, then they could essentially create an egregore aspect or like archetype aspect that could then apply to me, and then sooner or later I'd see that, okay, yeah, now this is true. But you got to be careful, because then if you get so well known, then someone else could end up applying an egregore to you that you don't want.
But I mean, how can you control that though?
Well, I think, I don't know, by controlling the media.
It doesn't seem like it's going that well for Drake right now. You know, it did for a while, but
well,
you know what I mean?
If we're living in a world, okay, this is all for like entertainment, I'm not saying any of this is real, just FYI here. So we're living in a world where this is true. We created a simulation or a game where this is true. I would think that you would want to not be super, super famous, because that would be really hard to control. The more you exist in people's minds, then the more work you'd have to do to control your perception. There's like so many Joshua trees. This is so great.
They're just coming in. I feel claustrophobic. There's so many.
But the more, like, the harder you'd have to work. So if you had just enough that know about you that, like, it's enough that if you suggest an idea, it'll come pretty quickly, but then not so much that it's beyond what you're capable of controlling. You know what I mean? That I feel like there's probably like a certain threshold that's like the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know though. Just popped into my head. Thought it was kind of an interesting little concept theory.
I mean, can you have two egregores going at the same time though?
I don't know. Probably. Essentially, yeah. Let's say if you want to use like Trump as an example, there's like the masses that hate him, and then the masses that love him. The thing is, though, the masses that hate him are probably going to be a little bit stronger because there's fear in there. So, again, fear is just really, really, really potent. People tend to believe in their fear more than they believe in anything else.
They do.
So it's so strong. So if this, like, in this scenario where this is how things work and there's egregores, the people that fear him are the ones giving him the most power. You know what I mean?
I mean, people were afraid Obama would take their guns away, right? And like Biden and all that, and so they were like super scared.
But they're a smaller percentage of the population.
They are smaller.
Yeah.
I believe.
So.
I believe they're smaller.
Yeah. No, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like nationwide, it's a smaller percentage. So in terms of, I think like it's just for a while there wasn't anyone that was like basically a villain for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these look like they burn. Oh, these look like they burn. Actually, I think I remember hearing about this.
The left side's on.
Yeah, this was. Oh yeah, I remember. Ooh, yeah, this is burned too. No, it's also burned. Poor Joshua trees.
Joshua.
I don't know.
A lot of them.
I don't want to like turn it into a political discussion because that's a hot mess by design. But
so. If what you're saying is true, pre-human, no alien existence.
Not necessarily, but maybe not in the way that like we've seen them. I mean, I think there probably was. I don't know. We'd have to. You can't fit everything into one theory.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try. They're called theories of everything, and there's a few theories of everything, but most things don't fit well into it all. So
yeah,
that's why most people say, "Oh yeah, theories of everything don't really work." Or maybe just because we haven't found the right one.
I don't know.
I think more than one theory can exist, and they can be more than one can be true at a time.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I just think that reality is complex.
I just want someone
Messy.
to tell me what's going on, but then if they do, I'm going to be like, I don't believe you. You know what I mean?
It's about collapsing the narrative. Yeah.
I don't want to do the work, but
It's more fun to let it stay open.
Yeah.
Because the minute you collapse a narrative, say that manifesting, for example, is true, or like what we've talked about with neurons and like neuroplasticity, that if our brains are what's rendering reality, then it's rendering it based on what we believe, based off the synapses that we have. The minute you collapse a reality or collapse a narrative down, you're eliminating other possibilities. So if, again, in this make-believe world, this world we're creating, where egregores exist and we create things based off of our synapses, which is just our connections, and then our neuroplasticity is how strong or flexible our synapses are, then in that world, you would want to stay pretty open. You'd want to keep them flexible. You wouldn't want to collapse it down, because the minute you do that, you create a ton of limitations. And there might be little pieces from these different worlds that you want to have access to when you want them, and then you want them to kind of go away when you don't want them. You would want to stay really open-minded, so that way you could use the various elements of the different beliefs.
Right.
If you collapse a narrative, you're shutting down other options for yourself. Going over train tracks.
Ooh, actual train. No?
Is the train here? No,
It's just a stop sign.
there are train tracks.
Wait, hold on.
Any trains coming?
I don't hear anything.
I don't see any. Just go quick.
Did you say stop in the middle of the tracks?
I'm gonna flip the camera around. Ooh, look at all the Joshua trees. A little farm we got going on here. So I had a
Farm
ducky.
situation.
Woohoo, ducky.
Both ways again?
Oh, yeah, dysfunctional.
Wow.
Yes.
That's cool.
Drive like a tortoise. I'm guessing there's tortoises here.
Flash flood area.
Watch out for those tortoises, guys.
Flash flood.
And flash floods. Yeah, look at the Joshua trees. So pretty. Okay. Let's flip that around. Okay. So, yeah. In this world, basically, you would want to keep your mind really, really open, because then you could kind of, the world would be able to shift. If you close down your perception too much, then what you're able to render for yourself is now going to be limited. So if you keep it open, that's probably how you could have, it might be a confusing world, but a really magical world. You could like have your abilities fluctuate. You could have the world fluctuate. So if you are someone that likes things to change, you would be able to have things change. But if you don't like change, then this will be a really uncomfortable world. But you don't have to have that. You could collapse your narrative down. But you'd want to be really sure before you collapse down a narrative. What do we think, everyone?
No,
I had too much coffee, I think.
Yeah,
I
she did.
had a little too much.
Wired right now.
I'm going to have to pee really soon. I'm probably going to have to pee
I think there's a cafe
out here somewhere.
I went to this cafe a while ago.
We think there's a cafe? Maybe. If not, I'm not opposed. We go camping. I pee outside.
I don't know, but earlier you took us to a random...
Cup of Joe in, what was it? Something? Moapa?
Moapa Valley.
It was kind of cute.
Cup of Joe. K-U-P-P-A.
We were a little out there, but you know what? The coffee wasn't bad. Oh, yeah, they don't really have the label on the cup. It wasn't bad. And I'm a coffee snob, so...
The bathroom was funny.
Yeah, they just had like signs, kind of like a rural...
It was like a, the Dumb and Dumber scene where he's in the toilet. They had all kinds of toilet...
Yeah. It was just like a really, it's like a country coffee shop, but again, maybe my expectations for it really, really low, and so because of that, I was like, oh, this is pretty good coffee, but she did a good job making it, didn't burn it. Most coffee shops burn it. It's like why I won't go to like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. They burn it. They just fry it.
But when we got there, there was like a huge trailer that said Cup of Joe on it. I thought that was it, and it looked closed.
Well, at first he thought it was a gas station. He's like, did you bring us to get gas station coffee? And I was like, of course not.
It looked like gas station coffee.
No, I would get gas station coffee over Starbucks, though.
Really?
Yeah, it's not better.
Green Mountain.
I would have Green Mountain over Starbucks. Yes. There's no difference. There's no difference. Wow, Rob. Drive straight.
I'm tired.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this is the theory I had, but that maybe we're egregoring aliens into existence, and maybe there's like that 2026, 2027 thing is that, and finally maybe enough people will believe or have some concept of aliens that they'll actually be able to physically render in our reality, according to our made-up world that we're
Where did the
about.
word egregore come from? Do you know who coined
It's probably
that term?
like an ancient Greek word or something.
I'd like to know.
It sounds
Greek.
Greek.
Like ogre. When I hear egregore, I think Shrek.
Egregore. What's the word for? I'm having a hard time with all my words today. It's an ADHD thing. I know the word, and it took me like 20 minutes to remember egregore.
Well, if you think about it, Shrek.
Etymology. Thank you.
Edamame. If you think about it, Shrek, you know, whoever came up with that movie, or if it's like a book, it's probably a book. Whoever came up with the movie, I mean, they willed Shrek into existence, technically. If what you're saying is true, Shrek could be an egregore, if what you're saying is true.
I don't have service, so I don't think we're going to look this up right now.
It was in one person's head, and then they gave it to a couple other people, and then they made it into a movie.
Listen, there is some evidence for this. There is some evidence for this there's a lot of books, which I don't have service, so I'm not going to be able to bring up the specifics, but there's a lot of books like, think about like, maybe like, was it 1984 or, another book, where they were like futuristic books, and a lot of the things that they talked about at the time were wild concepts that are now true and exist.
Like what?
Was it like 1984? Some of the like surveillance states.
Oh yeah, like the TVs.
Yeah,
or
there's even like songs. Oh yeah, I'm an SOS. Like, oh shit. Where they talked about like a futuristic time, and now we do in fact have those things. Even talking about like something that's like a cell phone or like a satellite or like, you know what I mean? At the time it was just science fiction, but now we really have it. And so there's two, you know, streams of thought in this. That one is that, well, we made those things because of those books. That's why they exist, because some nerdy person was like, oh, I love this book, I'm gonna make it happen, I'm gonna make it real, I'm gonna just obsess over it until I find a way to make this reality, right? And then another thought is maybe we kind of like manifested it or egregored it, that enough people got it in their head that the world essentially rendered to make it possible, and then someone was able to make it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same idea, which was it like the 4-minute mile or something? Like, that was impossible, no one could do it, but then all of a sudden one person, like, people got close to it, and then what was once impossible now several people were suddenly able to do. It's kind of based on that idea that, which some people say, oh, that's maybe like there being a collective consciousness, or, you know, maybe this egregore idea that once the idea of running a 4-minute mile existed in enough heads, now it's possible. Now our physics or our reality conforms to what we think about reality. Basically meaning that reality is flexible and bendable and malleable, and that we shape it with our beliefs. You good?
I'm with you. I just have like massive like sunscreen and dog hair in my eyes.
You have one dog hair in your eye and you got it out, and now you're hyperfixating on it. You gotta let it go. Don't egregore an eye, Shiro.
I egregore everything.
He really does. Can you be afraid of us becoming millionaires?
Yeah.
Please be really, really afraid that this podcast is going to take off and be like...
Yeah, be very afraid of that.
Be afraid that I'm going to make more money than you.
Be afraid of that. Don't hit the subscribe button.
Please.
Don't do
that. Don't do that.
We're scared of more subscribers.
We're terrified of subscribers. Really, really terrified. Actually, kind of. Kind of. Because the more of you there are, the more of you
that'll shit on us.
Gotta deal with you, yeah.
Can't wait.
It would be really scary to have subscribers that love us and support us and want to become members.
It's not my family.
I'm pushing this too much.
Yeah.
Let it go.
We have to cut that out.
Okay, any other questions? What do you think? It's an interesting concept. I don't know. I could talk about this for a while.
So James Madden in Cosmosis talks about the egregore, and he talks about a pizza shop.
No, he talks about hyperobject.
Okay. Similar, right? Or no?
No. Let's see if I'm gonna be able to
Is this related to the
phrase
topic?
this right. Kind of, yeah. Hyperobject is something that's like, it's so big that we can't conceptualize the entirety of it. We can only participate in small portions of it. And hang on, there's vultures out here. Look at that. Hi, birdie. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it's okay. So that's what he said. The idea of a pizza shop business, right, is kind of a hyper object. There are, like, pizza shop as a whole is a concept. It's a concept that exists, and we tend to think of it as just like a singular pizza shop, but it's not. There's a whole vibe and a whole like perceptual construction of pizza shop that any shop can then become. You can turn any storefront into a pizza shop, and now it is part of the hyper object that is a pizza shop. But for it to be a pizza shop, it has to have certain qualities. Like, one, there's going to be pizza ovens. Pizza needs to be served, but then there's usually other aspects to it. There's like going to be oils and greases, and there's going to be certain types of tables. There's other things that go into what we feel and believe a pizza shop is. But that the entirety of it is like this really large concept that we can't hold all of it. We can only hold one version of it at a time. Right? So that's what he's saying, that the UFO or ufology could essentially be a hyper object where the whole of it we can't ever interact with, like, all the pizza shops.
No.
Right? We can't interact with all of the phenomena, is kind of what he's saying, but then we can experience certain aspects of it. And just like we identify a pizza shop by having certain qualities, well, pizza's served there. There's pizza ovens. They make pizza. There's a wait staff. There's, you know what I mean? Like, if it has all the qualities of a pizza shop, we call it a pizza shop. Right?
Pump.
Woo! Okay. It's that same kind of idea that we've created the hyper object of the UFO, and then if we experience something that has all of the attributes that we assign to the UFO, it is now a UFO. That doesn't mean we understand what it is or how it got there or why it's there. We just know that, okay, well, because I'm recognizing all these things that I know to be a part of the concept of a UFO, I am saying I'm experiencing a UFO.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like similar. You could think of like an egregore could be could be a hyper object, or a hyper object could be an egregore. That if enough people, this road keeps going like this, it's kind of cool. Let's see if I can flip it around so you can see that. Oh wait, now it's all done.
There might be another dip.
We'll see. It's a cool shot though.
Pretty fun.
Ducky's looking pretty good. There's actually a new ducky or other ducky. Might have flown out of the open doors. Oh, here we go. We got one.
Here's a little bump.
Woo! Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I guess, yeah. I feel like I'll probably have to look that up to see. Maybe I'm completely wrong and you can't connect them, but it feels connected. I can see why you're connecting it. We'll see. You guys tell us. You people. Ugh, I'm trying to stop saying guys. It's so hard.
Why say it? You ruined it. The
inclusive.
podcast.
I know.
Ruined it.
Oh my gosh.
Little ground squirrels. keep
Yeah, the
popping
ground
up.
squirrels keep popping out. I'm really gonna have to
No
be
turtles.
behind some bushes or something.
You're gonna have to pee.
I don't think we're gonna find a bathroom anytime
Oh,
soon.
we're definitely gonna find a bathroom.
I don't. Yeah, right there, that bush.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, probably. All right.
Bump.
I think that's it for now. We're gonna keep adding on to this. We cannot film at Contact in the Desert, but we can film ourselves talking about it in our hotel room. So we'll do that, and we'll share some of the juicy stuff we find out, if anything, or just, I don't know, the fun we're having or not having. We'll fill you in. I don't know.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. I think that's it. We'll keep filming some cool views.
Oh, look at that.
That's not funny.
Major look.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Something's
Got her.
actually gonna show up, but I'm not gonna tell you.
Got her.
I'm not gonna tell you. Something cool is gonna happen. I'm like, no.
Got her.
No, you missed it. I'm gonna let you miss it. Okay?
Oh, where is it? Where is it? We got 5 pairs of binoculars in the back
I
of
want
the
to.
car.
Two.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're going to Contact in the Desert. I'm not gonna show up prepared.
Yeah.
People claim to have saw stuff last year, but I thought it was.
They claim.
It was like a bunch of birds. It looked weird. I was like, I don't know about that.
They claim.
This is the thing. You gotta stay skeptical. Don't believe in it all. Don't collapse the narrative. Keep it open. Alright. existing out here in the middle of nowhere. We did it. This wasn't here, but now it is. We're also turning egregore into a verb.
We are.
I don't know if it can be, but we're doing it.
In the dictionary.
We egregored this. Okay, but basically, good news, I didn't have to pee behind a bush.
Very good news.
You're gonna drive, I don't have my seatbelt on.
Oh, hurry up.
Safety, Rob.
I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah, this is kind of the Kelso Depot. Look at that building and this tree. Such great B-roll.
Look at that post office.
I know. That's a post office.
Yeah,
Oh wait, it does says post keep out. Oh my god, this is perfect.
Look at this.
Look how classic that is. We go slow.
So classic.
Wow.
Keep out.
Just great footage. There's a shed behind it. It's interesting. You gotta love the desert. All right, on we go. Where are we? Oh, Kel Baker. Kelso. Okay. That's it for now.
It's a stop sign.
And Palm Springs. We're in downtown Palm Springs. It is Monday after the conference. Second to the last day, but we left already. There wasn't much on the last day we wanted to do. We didn't end up filming it all during the conference because you really couldn't unless you were a more popular podcast. But no, you had to have like pre-arrangements. They were pretty strict about it this year. And then we're like, all right, so if we were going to film, it was only going to be in the hotel room, and we were so busy, so we just did it, and we got our little wristbands. Still got them off. Take them off at some point.
Never taken it off.
That was wild and exhausting. Pretty tired.
I'm exhausted.
It was a lot. Like we went to as much as we could. So there's tons of panels and tons of lectures and talks, and we were just like going. Barely had any time to even run back to the room to eat. Which we packed stuff this year. Last year we ate at restaurants and it was all expensive.
So much money.
Well, we did the like food buffet thing, which. You know, we didn't feel like it ended up being worth it. I think it's worth it for probably other people. But
It's
for
good
us,
if you don't have allergies and if you're on the run, you know?
Yeah. So like we have food. Well, kind of, it was difficult though, because like most of the talks we were going to was in like the main building, and then the food was across the courtyard. So you're still kind of running, and then it's 100 degrees outside. So I thought that was a little challenging last year. And then I have food allergies, so there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't have, and I ended up waiting anyway for them to make me like a custom dish. And so I was like, you know what, we're bringing a cooler this year, making sandwiches, which we did. But even that, like running up to the room sometimes we barely had time for. So there was no time to film, which is okay. We can film now. We can talk about so much.
There was a lot, honestly. I feel like we were gone for like a month, you know?
Yeah. It was 4 days.
You know, we didn't bring the dog. There was a bunch of dogs.
We missed the pup. We could go get them.
They were service dogs.
So many dogs.
Yeah. Service
dogs, but it's okay.
It's all right.
Our dog's a barker. He wouldn't have been okay.
He's a big barker.
All right. So, what were your biggest takeaways? What do you want to say?
I would say some of my favorite interactions and my favorite sessions were with Ross Coulthard.
That was a good one.
From News Nation. He pretty much like personalized it a little bit. He was like, hey, he talked. Each session is about like I'd say about an hour and a half. And he talked about like how he got into covering UFO and like paranormal stuff, because like, you know, who in journalism thinks like, you know, oh, I'm just covering like the local news or like, you know, some nationwide news, then global news, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're gonna do aliens today. You know, we're gonna do recovered craft.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like a very genuine account of like how he's managed to, you know, transition professionally into ufology. And it's not so much ufology, it's he's, and the way he tells it is he's just investigating journalism. Yeah. So he's not saying one way or the other. He says like, hey, I've changed my mind like a million times. Like,
well, so his comment in his lecture was kind of talking about how, because there's a lot of ufologists tend to follow, researchers, but people that come up with theories, and that's not what a journalist does. So an investigative journalist isn't coming up with any theories per se, but they're coming up with questions to ask. So there's a little bit of like putting enough pieces together to ask a question, but that doesn't mean that that's where you've landed. And so he talked about how, stuff will come out saying, oh, Ross Coulthard believes there's bases under Sedona. It's not that he believes it or not, it's that he's reporting on information that suggests there could be, right? And I think this is something that is a little, again, a bit maybe unique to ufology, and this is why he's running into this a lot, is that if someone says something related to the topic, they go immediately to, oh, they must believe it, because there's a big, like, skeptics and believers dichotomy, like that. There's definitely like a binary system that ufology gets pushed into, honestly. And so that's what he's talking about. He's like, no, that is not how journalism works. You report on the things that people are talking about. You report on the experiences, you report on the sightings, you report on the story. That doesn't mean you believe it. It's not your job to necessarily believe it or not. It's your job to look into it. And so you do need to have a certain amount of openness in order to do that.
Exactly.
But nowhere is he saying these are his personal beliefs. Now, he will say, like, where he leans sometimes, which, again, I think is good, because there's no such thing as a non-biased journalist.
There's no such thing.
Everyone has bias, and you're fooling yourself if you think you don't. And you're fooling yourself if you think that your favorite journalist that you follow doesn't have any bias. So I think it's more responsible to actually state any bias that you have so that people can make informed decisions when listening,
Yeah, and he said he's only as good as the information that he gets. And a lot of this is secondhand information.
You're only as good as your sources. As a journalist, you're only as good as the quality of your sources. And so that's just like, you kind of have to take chances.
Right.
To figure it out. And
he said, yeah, mistakes are made.
Of course, some people are going to be lying, or some people are going to have been tricked. So he might have a source that he trusts because they are being genuine, but who they trusted wasn't genuine. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that, and then people want to be really quick to just, one thing wasn't right, so we're going to toss the whole thing out, and you really can't do that, and it's a disservice to the topic. So yeah, his talk was really good. I think that was really informative, and I liked having the opportunity, because again, there's so much like grifter, that word gets thrown around a lot, and oh, you can't trust so-and-so, you can't trust so-and-so. And for me personally, it's helpful to actually get to see someone in person like that, because I can intuit a lot more when I have someone in front of me. Right. And as far as I can tell, watching him talk, hearing his voice, getting to read the full body language like that, what I'm picking up on is that he is genuinely reporting what's been reported to him, and he has a genuine awareness that there are a lot of people in this field that try to mess with you. So that was refreshing. I appreciated that, and it does feel like he's genuinely trying his hardest and cares about the topic and cares about figuring, or just reporting truth, digging into it and reporting it. So that was really cool.